What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin back on the show. What's up, Dustin?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me as always.
Yeah, this is our mock drafts 3.0 and our final mock draft, the NFL draft happening tomorrow night. So we can't wait for that. A lot going on. And you know, starting off with the number one pick this year more than ever, in recent history, there's a lot of uncertainty in this draft. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we started off with a clear-cut number one, and then with the rumors now, it could be a different name.
Well, and if you remember at the very beginning, there was a lot of talk about Evan Neal going number one as well. And there's still talk about Ekwonu possibly going number one. I mean, right now, the betting favorite, according to Vegas, is now Trayvon Walker. A lot of people, including Daniel Jeremiah, are still in on Aiden Hutchinson going number one. And then there's been some talk about Ike Ekwonu going number one. Are you sticking with Aiden Hutchinson?
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I think he's, the better choice overall because with him, you know what you're gonna get. With Trayvon Walker, it's the upside, and I think that's what Jacksonville likes more. But I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson as the number one overall pick.
Yeah, that's what Jacksonville's thinking with Trayvon Walker is the upside, the intangibles, like the measurements and the all that stuff. Aiden Hutchinson is a low floor. You know what you're gonna get from him. Now, this is what I'll say on that. If the Jags do go Trayvon Walker, that's my pick. I'm going Trayvon Walker. I just get a feeling like last year it was Mac Jones going to San Francisco all the way up until the night before the draft. And then all of a sudden everyone switched and it was Trey Lance. And so I kind of like get a feel for what everyone's talking about around the league. And in the last week or so, it switched. Peter King said that he's heard from multiple people expect a surprise at number one. Um, I'm thinking if it's a surprise, Aiden Hutchinson wouldn't be a surprise. So it's either going to be Trayvon Walker or an offensive tackle. I'm going to go Trayvon Walker. I think his, hype has been going up the entire process, and he's just got the most hype right now. And Vegas is usually pretty in touch about who's going where. The big, he's got a lot of questions because he didn't have a lot of productivity in college, only 9.5 sacks in 29 career games. But GM Trent Baalke, seems to be betting on the high upside. And if that's the case, so I'm going to go Trayvon Walker at one. If that's the case and Aiden Hutchinson is available at two, the Lions are going to jump at that. The Lions will absolutely take Aiden Hutchinson. If not, I still think the Lions take Trayvon Walker. So it's 1-2, 1-2. Either way, I think it goes. Hutchinson and Walker are the first two picks off the board. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I agree. I did have Sauce Gardner at two, but for the simple fact that they're talking about, it could very well be, Trayvon or Aiden Trayvon. Give me Trayvon Walker for number two.
Yeah. And it just seems that's the direction the Lions want to go is D-line and get after the quarterback. So either way, 1-2, it should be those two guys. Let's go to pick three then, which is a big pick in the draft, depending on what the Texans do. Some people have the Texans going Ike Ekwonu, the tackle, who is widely believed to be the best tackle available in this year's draft. Evan Neal's fallen off a little bit, but I still think, he's pretty damn good. And then some are taking Sauce Gardner there at three of the Texans. Me, I'm taking defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau. I think it's going to be three edges off the draft, the first three picks. What do you think? Where do you think the Texans go? Is it offensive line? Is it corner? Or is it edge?
Well, again, this was another change for me because I got in deep to the Texans stats, and their offensive passing last year was terrible. They were like ranked 29th.
Yep.
So let me go with Ike Aquanu to get some help for Davis Mills.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's very possible. And Thibodeau's been falling off a little bit, so I could see him falling a little bit, maybe to 4, 5, 7, somewhere around there, even 8. I don't think he falls any further than pick 8. I got him going 3, but it wouldn't surprise me, offensive line or Sauce Gardner there. I mean, you could make a case easily for Sauce Gardner there at 3, right? To the Texans. I mean, so either way, either one of those.
It's
Th-
just whoever gets Sauce Gardner gets a steal, especially if he falls, at like 3, 4, or 5,
yeah.
or 4, 5, or 6.
Do you think I've heard multiple people say that Sauce Gardner is the best, if the best player in the draft? Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, like I keep saying all the time, this dude did not give up a passing touchdown in college. You have the greatest college football coach of all time, Nick Saban, saying that he had to throw away from Sauce Gardner. I mean, it's you just don't hear stats like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. So it'll be interesting where he goes. If he falls, he could easily go 3. I agree. Like it's about fit with Sauce Gardner. Um, it's interesting that, someone of his talent, someone that never allowed a touchdown in college against him, um, wouldn't go, number 1 overall. And it's kind of interesting where he's going to go. You would think a shutdown corner like that would be an absolute must have, you know? So whoever gets
Yeah,
him should be getting something good. Um, who do you have the Jets going at 4 then?
this is where I have Sauce coming off the board.
Okay. And Robert Saleh, a defensive minded head coach, going defense, solidifying, the secondary for the Jets. Um, he's easily worth going that high. This is where I had the Jets going tackle Ike Ekwonu. Um, Ekwonu could easily go 3. I have him going 4. Probably the best offensive lineman in the draft. Um, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. The Jets are a big time pick too. Like a lot of these picks, the Texans, the Jets, the Panthers are like gonna affect the draft a lot by which direction they go.
Yeah, absolutely. The Jets could go either way, but I mean, there's just no way that I see Sauce falling past 4.
I mean, so what do you think about this? If the Texans go Ike Ekwonu, I would be tempted to go Kayvon Thibodeau at 4, which I would agree Thibodeau should drop if anybody compared to Sauce Gardner, but I just don't know if the Jets pull what do you think about Thibodeau there?
Thibodeau very well could go there, and
Yeah,
but I just think that the Jets are going to want to take the best player that's available next, which I think just Sauce Gardner is an overall better player than what Thibodeau is.
yeah. And what you get with the Jets and Giants here, with 2 picks in the top 10 for each team, is the debate of, do you take 2 defensive players or a defensive player and an offensive lineman? Because both teams could use offensive line help as well. So you're weighing like, if the Jets take Sauce Gardner at 4, then at 10, do you take an edge or do you go offensive line? And if you're the Giants, or do you flip flop it, And if you're the Giants, you got 5 and 7, so you can take an offensive lineman and a defensive guy. So it's interesting to see how these 2 teams are going to play that and get help on both sides of the ball, or go all defense or go all offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have a chance to go, fix whatever your issues are on either side of the ball.
Yeah. Um, so at 5, the Giants, this is where I have Evan Neal going. Giants fans on Twitter seem to be all in on Evan Neal, and I've seen a lot of mocks taking Evan Neal. I don't see him falling further than 5. Seattle is hoping that he falls to 9. Um, that would be great value if he falls, but for a guy that was predicted to go number 1 at one point, I think Evan Neal at 5 makes a lot of sense to the Giants and help protect Daniel Jones. Who do you have going to the Giants at 5?
This right here. So I have Evan Neal also.
Yep.
I just think that it's important that you get, you know, you're trying to work on wanting to get Daniel Jones to be what you are expecting him to be. You have to get him some help. I think they were ranked in the bottom tier with offensive passing too. So
Yes,
he,
they were 30th. You're talking about who was it that was 29th? The Texans?
yes,
Yeah, and the Giants were 30th in offensive line protection.
yeah, that's not that's not very good.
And so they do like their left tackle, which is what, Andrew Thomas for the
Yeah,
Giants.
yep, and
But
then
you can plug Evan Neal in at right tackle and then have that your two tackles pretty much solidified.
yeah, absolutely. But what makes you what in your opinion makes Evan Neal better than Charles Cross?
Um, I think I just think he's faced, you know, maybe slightly tougher competition. I mean, same conference, so it's hard to say, but I just like Evan Neal better. I think he's bigger. I think he's more reliable. A physical freak. I like Charles Cross, but I don't like him top 10. I think the two best are Aquanu and Neal, and I think Neal is just one step below Aquanu, and they're very close. I think I'm very high on Evan Neal. Some complain about his footwork, um, but I don't. I think you plug him in at right tackle with the Giants, and that really solidifies the offensive line. You're talking, next to Mark Glowinski, and you got Andrew Thomas on the other side. I just watching Evan Neal's film, he's just a straight up monster and pushing people around. So um I would take him. He's my number 2, and he's right there with Aquanu in my opinion as best offensive lineman. What about you? Do you
Yeah,
have what
I
do you
just
I
like
mean, yeah, go ahead.
I like his size. He's a
Yeah,
mountain man,
yep,
and you know, big. You need big offensive linemen, especially with the way that these defensive players are in the league.
yeah. And so I don't think Cross is bad either, but I think Evan Neal is number 2 on my opinion. I mean, Evan Neal was my number 1 tackle for quite a while, and Aquanu has passed him recently. But I think 5 is the perfect spot for him, and no more excuses for Daniel Jones with the weapons he's got, and now solidifying the offensive line. If he can't get it done this year with a better O line and Brian Dable at head coach, offensive minded coach, then it will definitely be time for the Giants to move on from Daniel Jones. So this is a big year for Daniel Jones and the Giants.
Absolutely.
Now pick 6 is a huge pick. The Panthers are one of those. It's hard to figure out. Some people are saying Charles Cross would go right here, number 6 to the Panthers. I think a lot of people, the Panthers are hoping Evan Neal falls there. But me looking at their roster with at quarterback, I know it's not a strong class, but I got to go quarterback here. And I think that they're going to want to go quarterback here. Now, there's a chance they could go offensive line. Um, what do you think about the Panthers here at 6?
Uh, I think it's more important that they go you have to go quarterback here, and I'm gonna go with Malik Willis.
And do you think they will? I mean, what do you think about the Matt Rule connection with Kenny Pickett? I know that I agree that Malik Willis should be the first quarterback off the board. He's got the highest upside, but he's a raw prospect. He's gonna have to do some developing in the NFL. Um, what about Kenny Pickett here? Why would you go Malik Willis over Kenny Pickett?
I mean, just because I think that this has a chance to be a home run hit compared to Kenny Pickett, and I mean, I they can say all that about connections and stuff, but I don't always believe in that because you have to do what's best for business,
Yeah. Well,
and
yeah.
I just believe that you can't pass up on Willis because if you go get Kenny Pickett and he doesn't work out, and Willis is out there balling, it's just not gonna. It's gonna be a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah, and I think what the Panthers are flawed in this respect because they brought back Matt Rule. If they had fired Matt Rule, they'd be in a much better position right now. But they brought him back for another year, and Matt Rule's connection with Kenny Pickett. And I think this is another aspect to that. Not only are they connected going back to Temple with Matt Rule recruiting Kenny Pickett, but Matt Rule knows that he's on the hot seat. He knows he has to win in 2022. So I think he's going to be hesitant to want a quarterback project like Malik Willis. He wants the uh what do you call it? A most pro ready quarterback in the draft class, which I believe Kenny Pickett is. And so I will disagree with it. If it happens on draft night tomorrow night, I'll boo and I'll say it's the wrong move. I think they should go Malik Willis, but it would not surprise me one bit. I think all signs are pointing to if they go quarterback, I think they go Kenny Pickett here because he's pro ready. There's pressure on Matt Rule to win now. Sam Darnold's not it. Um, maybe PJ Walker's got some potential, but he hasn't exactly shown it, or balled out, and it hasn't exactly led to wins. Um, what do you think on that? My reasoning for Kenny Pickett there.
It's understandable, and I can see it happening, but I just want to go with what I think is the better choice, and that's why I chose Willis.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if it were up to me, I would be convincing the Lions to take Malik Willis at 2. Um, Based on his upside, I believe in him, the prospect, his future. If he goes to the right spot and gets a chance to develop and become the guy he's capable of being, he can be a star in this league.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but you know, I would
I,
have fired Matt Rule after 2021. Um,
a lot of these guys though, it's so hard just because like there's not really one standout with the quarterback draft class, and I think everybody's waiting a lot towards next year when you have guys like Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud and
yeah, and they
other.
should be. There's a lot of hesitancy about this year, about the quarterback class, but I think it's still going to be taken off the board. I think the quarterbacks are still going to get drafted because in this league, you have to have a quarterback and you have to be, even if you don't have your franchise quarterback, you need to have a young guy in there you're developing and always progressing towards the future. And I think there's going to be teams, there's pressure on the Lions, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Steelers, the Saints, etc., to get young quarterback talent in there and at least be progressing to the future, even if he's not the guy, and there's going to be pressure to take him in round 1, 2, 3. It's going to be interesting to see where these quarterbacks go.
Yeah, and I took a lot of thought about it. The reason why what stopped me from having him at number 2 was two things. Obviously, you can't let somebody like Aiden Hutchinson or Trayvon Walker fall out of your grasp. If you have a chance, go get him.
Yeah.
Secondly, is Dan Campbell, in my opinion, is not the type to get it right when it comes to recruiting offensive talent.
Yeah, but there's also, I think, less pressure on Detroit to get it right now. I think that Dan Campbell's on a full, they're giving him like a full 5-year rebuild. I think he proved a lot last year in the, setting the foundation for what he's trying to build. And I think you know, they kind of played it smart with Panay Sewell, but I think, man, if I could go back, I would have drafted Justin Fields last year. And so you could potentially, let's say Malik Willis goes to Carolina and balls out and becomes the guy he's capable of being, and Justin Fields continues to develop and has success, then you're going to look at the Lions and say, you passed up on two, potential star quarterbacks, and they better get it right when they do make the decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it'll be very interesting. Um, so you got Malik Willis at 6. I got Kenny Pickett. Let's go to pick 7. So we both have Evan Neal going to the Giants at 5. So at pick 7, I have them going edge Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. Team him up, put him opposite Azeez Ojulari, and get after the quarterback. That could really improve the defense there. The only way I don't see that is if Kayvon Thibodeau is available. Then there's a conversation whether you prefer Jermaine Johnson or Kayvon Thibodeau. Who do you pick here at 7?
Oh, well, I mean, if I had a choice of those two guys, give me Thibodeau. But at 7, realistically, now this is a dark horse. I don't think anybody expected him to go this high.
Mm-hmm.
But give me Derek Stingley Jr.
Okay.
Um, I
Um,
just, I just feel like he's played it in the SEC, and his freshman year, he had a damn good season. I believe he was the best cornerback and the best DB in the NCAA that year that they won the national championship in 2019, and
yeah,
that was as a freshman. I mean, you have questioned, of course, his injuries, but if you're talking about a guy who can stay healthy, man, he's got game.
yeah. I mean, honestly, if he can stay healthy and not miss time, he is right there with Sauce Gardner as far as corner talent and potential. So he's a lockdown stud. And some people are saying he'll end up being the better pro of the two. So I get it. Um, for me, I think the corners fall a little bit. Um, they don't deserve to, but I think they fall a little bit towards the end of the top 10. And I just think there's a run on edges. And with Thibodeau not available, I go Jermaine Johnson. And to that point, I don't think it's an easy pick, Jermaine Johnson versus Thibodeau. I think Jermaine Johnson's arrow is pointing way up, similar to who's the number 1 pick, Trayvon Walker. I think Trayvon Walker and Jermaine Johnson both are their arrows are pointing way up, and Thibodeau's arrow has been pointing down throughout this entire draft class. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Giants still went Jermaine Johnson over Thibodeau if he's available. Like Thibodeau is in danger of falling potentially out of the top 10 tomorrow night. Would you be
Yeah,
surprised by that?
actually, yeah, I would, because man, he has a very, very high motor, and
Seen it in the past though. We've seen elite edge rushers, and like it's weird sometimes how that happens in the NFL. Like momentum and hype. You can go from the number 1 overall pick and just people conversation talking about you, everyone talking you down, saying that you don't have it, saying you're not going to translate to the NFL, and you fall down borderline top 10 or even out. You know what I mean? It's weird how that works.
yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had my brain died for a minute, man.
It's all good. So let's go to pick 8. So you've got, just to recap, so you got Derek Stingley going to the Giants there.
Yes.
So you got your corners going off early. Pick 3 and 7, or pick 3 and 7.
Yeah, I just feel like these are guys that you can't pass up. These corners to me, when they're great corners, they're hard to get.
Well, I mean, we're talking about it. You got Kayvon Thibodeau falling in yours. Thibodeau's still on your board, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's crazy, but man,
and Jermaine Johnson too. You're part of the problem. You're talking about all the guys. Why are they falling? You got them over there falling on your mock.
dang, you told me I'm part of the problem. That's why.
I'm just joking.
No,
But
but it's
let's go. I mean, so Kayvon Thibodeau could easily go here at 8. I think if the Falcons, if Thibodeau's on the board, they could go him here at 8. Is that where you have him going?
and yes, this is where I have Kayvon Thibodeau going is to the Atlanta Falcons,
Okay. And I think that's a pretty good fit. I could see him going to Atlanta, and that's a really good value pick for the Falcons.
which is crazy because it was hard, because I was gonna go Garrett Wilson here just because of the kind of help that they needed, but I can't let Kayvon fall no more.
Yeah. So, and I had originally put Garrett Wilson here too, but I'm going to ask you this and tell me what you think. What value does Garrett Wilson give you in 2022 if you take him at 8 with Marcus Mariota and Felipe Franks at quarterback
I mean, to me, it's just another young weapon who,
to build around?
yeah, to build
Yeah,
around and develop it. I mean, Wilson is a baller. Okay, I've seen this guy make some amazing catches at Ohio State. He's got speed. He can stretch the field most definitely. But I just I feel like Atlanta is probably just gonna want to go defensive player here.
and but you've got Garrett Wilson, right?
Yeah,
So at wide receiver, the only way I see that if you're going to draft Garrett Wilson at 8 and you've got Kyle Pitts, if I'm Atlanta, part of my plan is getting Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo. You have to upgrade the quarterback position. You can't go into week 1 with expecting Marcus Mariota to start 17 games for you. You can't do it. I like, Marcus Mariota is a solid backup quarterback. He's not a starter in 2022. No way.
well, maybe Atlanta's not trying to win now. Maybe they're trying to do a rebuild so they can get, as I mentioned earlier, like have one of the first 3 picks next year with Bryce Young or CJ Stroud.
Maybe so. But so based on my mock so far, like you heard me say, Kenny Pickett to the Panthers at 6. You know what? This is a surprise. I got Malik Willis going 8 to the Falcons.
Wow.
Yep. I think if he's available and you've got Marcus Mariota and Felipe Franks and you're rebuilding like you just talked about, then draft a guy like Malik Willis who you can sit behind both Mariota and Franks for as long as possible and then plug him in when he's ready. And you got Kyle Pitts and you can slowly build around him. But I think that's a spot in Atlanta where you don't have to put Malik Willis into the fire right away. You can let him, develop and slowly, and this is a team, Atlanta, that could have taken Justin Fields last year. And now they're stuck without Matt Ryan and needing to look to the future. It makes a lot of sense for me to go Malik Willis here. What do you think on that pick?
I mean, it's a good pick, but I clearly figured after letting go of Matt Ryan that that's a sure sign of a rebuild. So I figured maybe they were just gonna wait till next year with the draft of the quarterbacks. But you mentioned the Lions missing out on Fields. I mean, Atlanta did too, so they had to get it right eventually.
Yeah. And to me, it just, it makes sense. I mean, I could see Malik Willis falling potentially to pick 20 to the Steelers or something like that. But from my eyes, he's the top quarterback prospect. So if I'm Atlanta and I'm sitting there and Carolina makes, in my opinion, a stupid decision to take Kenny Pickett as a top quarterback, and Malik Willis falls to you at 8, because in my opinion, and I think you agree because you have Malik Willis going 6 to Carolina, Malik Willis shouldn't fall to 8, and he shouldn't fall any further than that. His talent should go top 10, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So it makes sense to me. And if you don't go Malik Willis at 8 to Atlanta, what if you go Malik Willis at 9 to Seattle? If he's still available, there's another team that needs a quarterback, and both these teams, Atlanta and Seattle, need to have their eyes on the Baker Mayfield situation.
Yeah, and that's why I do not have Seattle selecting quarterback, because I believe deep down that they're going to be the one to make a move for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I could see that, but I think Atlanta's right there in the conversation too. I think Carolina is also in the conversation with Baker Mayfield, even though early on they said they're not interested and Baker said he's not interested. Both, they're still interested, in my opinion. So I think Baker to either one of those three teams. So who do you have Seattle taking then at 9?
This one was tough. I wasn't gonna go offensive lineman, but I'm gonna go Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, and that's one of the names that they're interested in. Seattle would be ecstatic if Thibodeau, Jermaine Johnson, or Evan Neal are available there. They will jump at the opportunity. So if you have Jermaine Johnson there, Seahawks will definitely take him. But on my mock, there's a name you haven't heard yet who's available at 9, and Seattle would lose their mind if they were able to get this guy, Sauce Gardner at 9.
Oh, I don't know if he falls that far though, man.
I know that's what's crazy because you're talking the best corner in the draft, all the hype, not allowing a touchdown in college football, college football career. And if he falls to 9 to Seattle, that would be a perfect fit for the Seahawks. They would love it.
Yeah, and it's not like this guy had. I mean, the conference that Sauce played in obviously wasn't, a Power Five, but in the two games that mattered, he played, on eventual winning, or the following year, Georgia won the national championship. He played Georgia in the Peach Bowl and didn't give up a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then he played Bama and didn't even give up a touchdown either. So he's playing top athletes.
Were you, correct me if I'm wrong, were you at the Notre Dame Cincy game?
Yes, I was.
So did you got a, bird's eye view. You were right there, got to see Sauce Gardner. How did he look in person to you?
He looked legit. I mean, like a guy who is the real deal. And, he every time Notre Dame went his way, guys just could not get open. He has the ability to cover anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's ball hawking skills. He's always in the right spot. And man,
He's got some of that Darrell Revis in him.
yeah, it's a lot of coaching too, but you can't take away talent, which is something that I would never do. But I love this guy's game, man, and I usually don't follow DBs, but he is someone that I really enjoy watching.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's say Sauce Gardner's off the board already. Seattle would also love to take Derek Stingley Jr., and they had also got their eyes on tackle Charles Cross. So you took one of the guys that they're definitely interested in, Jermaine Johnson, and Sauce Gardner. They would do backflips if he's there at 9. So,
Oh yeah, the city of Seattle
um,
would party.
yeah. Let's go to pick 10. The New York Jets. So who did you have them taking it for?
I believe it was Sauce.
Okay, Sauce Gardner at corner, number 1 corner. So then who do you got them taking at 10?
I'm actually gonna go No, you know what? Scratch that. Okay, I want to change this. I'm not seeing my boy drop anymore. I'm gonna go with Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton. Okay. So you've got, damn, that would address the secondary in a hurry. Sauce Gardner and Kyle Hamilton.
It was tough because I did have Garrett Wilson, but you know what? I'm gonna do a audible in the middle of the draft, and I just can't see Hamilton fall anymore, man. Because
It would
you,
hurt your pride if Hamilton falls out of the top 10.
yes, absolutely. Like,
Man, but talk about, I mean, that would address the secondary in a hurry. If you got two young dudes, Sauce Gardner, arguably the best player in the draft, and then Kyle Hamilton, who everyone's drooling all over at safety, who could, easily go three to the Texans. So that's two absolute studs in the secondary.
yeah, and I also sat here and thought about it too, because I I believe that the Jets are going to be hard players for Debo Samuel.
Yeah,
So I I don't see them really, wanting to go that hard at receiver. So I just think that Kyle Hamilton is the best choice.
yeah. And another thing, so talking about secondaries, imagine, so let's say Sauce Gardner does go to Seattle, and then you add him to Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams at safety. That's a hell of a secondary in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, it would be great for Seattle because you got pretty stacked over there.
And then you go get let's say, you go get Baker Mayfield. Then all of a sudden you've got a shutdown secondary, and ideally on paper. And Quandre's a beast coming back off an injury, and Jamal Adams coming off an injury. But, ideally on paper, that's a hell of a secondary. And then you keep DK Metcalf, keep Tyler Lockett, and get Baker Mayfield. Man, screw a rebuild. Seattle's ready to go next year.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say, for people talking about a rebuild, well, damn, if that turns out to be, then they could be contenders, even maybe even a wild card.
Yeah. But it all depends in the draft. A lot can change quickly. Let's say they go Charles Cross there and then don't get Baker Mayfield. Then you're talking you went offensive line. Now you got Drew Lock. Maybe you trade away DK Metcalf, and very quickly you're talking about a complete rebuild.
Yeah.
So
Excuse me.
it's very interesting how it can change quickly. Um, so you
Yeah, but
had Kyle Hamilton going 10 to the Jets. Me to the Jets. I've got him falling a little bit, but back-to-back corners here. Derek Stingley Jr. to the Jets.
man, that would be nasty also.
Yeah. So then you're talking the best tackle in the class with Ike Ekwonu at 4, and then arguably the best corner right there with Sauce, Derek Stingley. So the Jets definitely improving either way with these two
And that
picks.
makes sense. I mean, because you're gonna need guys that are gonna be able to have to guard, Jalen Waddle and
Yeah.
uh Tyreek Hill.
Devontae Parker there in New England, and then you're talking Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis in Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, that pick definitely makes sense, which is, again, why I chose Kyle Hamilton, just because of his length and his ability, man.
Yeah,
To,
to cover the whole field, be a ball hawk.
a
And
lot of
Kyle
those guys,
Hamilton's absolutely in consideration here at 10. If he's still available and still on the board, the Jets will take a long, hard look at Kyle Hamilton here. And also, I mean, Thibodeau's still on your board, right?
no, I have him gone at Atlanta.
At 8 at Atlanta. But so if Jermaine Johnson or Thibodeau's available, still on the board, the Jets will take a long, hard look at them too. And I believe Jermaine Johnson's still available for you, right?
Nope, he went off to Seattle.
Okay. So Seattle. All right. So your edges are going off the board now, and Kyle Hamilton and your corners are off the board. For me, pick 11, the Commanders. Of all the mocks I've seen, Kyle Hamilton to the Commanders here at 11 is a consensus. Everyone's saying Kyle Hamilton falls to 11, and the Commanders get him. What will you think about that if he falls out of the top 10?
I mean, I just think whoever's getting them is going to be getting a hell of a player, which he shouldn't fall out of the top 10, but we've seen crazier things happen. And I mean, the Commanders could definitely use the help.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if he falls that far, that's a great pick for them. I think it fits their defense, with their need very well. And he's a top five prospect, at least top 10 prospect. He should go 7, 8 at least. So if he falls to 11, that's a great value pick. And also, if they don't take Kyle Hamilton, keep an eye at wide receiver where they could go Garrett Wilson or Drake London here. Who do you have the Commanders taking?
Um, I have them going Drake London.
Yep, wide receiver. And with
I
Carson Wentz there, you got to get your boy Carson Wentz some weapons.
mean, did you say my boy Carson Wentz? I mean, he was until
You're not a Commanders fan this year? You're not following Carson Wentz wherever he goes?
the Commanders. Who's that? No, I'm just playing.
It's better than the
No,
Guardians in baseball.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I was cool with the Washington football team. I thought that was pretty cool, honestly.
Me too. They should have kept it. They shouldn't be the Commanders. I liked Washington football team for real.
But no, I do hope Carson does well. You know, obviously as a fan of the game, I
Yeah.
hope does well. But
So on paper, you add Drake London to that team. You're talking Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, De'Ami Brown, and Drake London. That's quite a bit of talent at receiver.
yeah, absolutely.
So no excuses for Wentz if they go offense. And if you add Kyle Hamilton, that's a hell of a defender. So it'll be interesting to see what direction they go. Let's go to the Vikings at pick 12. Who do you have going here?
This one may surprise, but since Hamilton came off the board, this is where I was gonna have Hamilton, but I'm gonna replace him with Trent McDuffie.
Okay. And corners in need. Um, this is where I went best player available and a need, but I mean it makes too much sense to me to go Jordan Davis here to the Vikings.
I like that.
Um, but I mean corner is definitely a need for them. And McDuffie is right there. I mean, he's not far off of Stingley and Sauce. He's not getting the hype they are, but he is going to go high in this draft. So I can't hate on that pick. Um, but I went Jordan Davis, and I'm not really excited about it. I don't want to see Jordan Davis in our division, in the Bears division.
Yeah, that would be scary.
Yeah. And the Vikings are hoping. I mean, they would love Jordan Davis. They would take Trent McDuffie, but they're hoping, they got their fingers crossed that Derek Stingley or Kyle Hamilton falls to them here at 12. Can you imagine Kyle Hamilton and Harrison Smith, two Notre Dame safeties back there?
Oh man, that would be incredible. I mean, because Harrison Smith is already great. He's a Pro Bowler and everything else. So
And he would learn from Harrison too.
absolutely.
But so
Man,
that's where we're going.
I keep saying this, like, how often is it do you see going back through all the drafts? How often do you see a 6'4" safety with
Yeah.
the span of like a 6'8", 6'9"? Those are basketball player type of wingspan abilities and stuff, and somebody who can. It's rare when there's a safety who once they get beat by the DB can cover anybody. I mean, absolutely anybody.
100%. I agree with everything you just said. Kyle Hamilton has no weaknesses, in my opinion. He's tall, long, lanky. He's got the speed. He can cover sideline to sideline like we've seen last year in college football, that pick against Florida State. He can cover the pass, and he has no problem putting his head down and covering the run and making being physical tackles. So there's a reason he's drawn Ed Reed comparisons. I mean, he's the real deal. We got
Yeah, I
some
mean, I'm,
absolute beasts coming out this year. I mean, you think about it. The guys coming out this year, if Trayvon Walker turns out to be the guy he's supposed to be, Kayvon Thibodeau's upside, then you're talking, I mean, Jordan Davis is an absolute freak. Then you're talking Sauce Gardner, uh, Stingley Jr., Kyle Hamilton. I mean, there's stars all over the place.
absolutely. This is one of the best defensive drafts I've seen. When it comes to guys that have the chance to be great in a long
Yeah.
time.
I mean, you're talking about linebackers that no one's really given that much love, falling mid to late first round in the Kobe Dean and Devin Lloyd. And everyone's focusing on the lack of quarterback talent, or is a weak quarterback class compared to other years, but the rest of it is damn good in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the receivers are going to go nuts here in a second. We're getting to the point. We haven't really, I think you've had one receiver gone. I haven't had a receiver go yet, and we're about to go on a run with that. um Pick 13, Houston Texans. Who are you going here?
I am going with Garrett Wilson.
All right. So they're going to go receiver. Who did you go at pick 3 again to Houston?
I had EK.
Okay. So they go offensive. So they go offense for you. Garrett Wilson. So is that your first receiver off the board?
Nope, that is my second. My first receiver is Drake London.
Drake London. And who was that to? Commanders?
Yep, to the
Okay.
Commanders.
So now you're going Garrett Wilson. Um, do you believe Drake London is the best receiver in this year's class, or is it just fit? How do you compare him to Garrett Wilson and Jamison Williams?
The best receiver in his draft, I believe, is Garrett Wilson. I like Drake London because I think he fits what Washington wants.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I mean, he's a big body receiver who can catch anything. He has the ability to, get open easily. So,
He's
you know,
built like that prototypical number one receiver, big body, throw it up to him. He'll go up and catch it, even with two guys on him.
absolutely. And, you know, he reminds me of a guy who fell, to Indy, Michael Pittman Jr., you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
but
I
it's
agree with
just,
that. And he could be even better.
oh, yeah. Look,
Yep.
man, I seen London play in South Bend, and okay, let me tell you, that guy was amazing.
Yeah. And
He's the best.
nothing beats seeing it with your own eyes.
He's the best receiver that I've seen that has come through Notre Dame Stadium since Notre Dame's own Will Fuller. You know,
Yeah. Yep. Um, for me, pick 13, I have the Texans going corner Trent McDuffie. So while you have them going offense, I have them going defense, going Kayvon Thibodeau at 3, and then Trent McDuffie at 13. Lovey Smith, the new head coach. So I got him boosting the defense. Um, and the Texans are hoping they're going to like McDuffie, but they're hoping that Derek Stingley or Kyle Hamilton's available still. And they would love to get either one of those two guys. I think they'll both be off the board. And Trent McDuffie's not a, a big drop off, you know?
yeah, I agree.
So let's go 14. And this is my pick of the draft. Last year, it was Azeez Ojulari. This year, I just love this fit, and I had Aziz going to the Giants. This year, my pick is 14, Ravens defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt. Now, if he's available, Jordan Davis. but I like Devontae Wyatt a lot. I think he's right there with Jordan Davis. Like I don't think there's a big difference between the two. And Devontae Wyatt, I think, translates to the NFL game very well. You bring him into Baltimore, let him, be developed behind Calais Campbell and those guys on that D line. Whether the Ravens go Jordan Davis if he's available or Devontae Wyatt, I think it's a great pick there. And I just like Devontae Wyatt a lot. I think he's gonna be a great pro. What do you think?
Yeah. Here I have Jordan Davis.
Yeah. And so do you think they go defensive tackle regardless?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
because to me that's a need.
Yeah. And I've heard some people say they didn't think so. Thought, corner. They're hoping for Derek Stingley or who's the other guy? McDuffie. But I think defensive tackle is absolutely a need.
And I mean, with Jordan Davis, trust me, you get
Oh man.
you
He
get
would be
more.
a great fit in Baltimore too.
See, Jordan Davis is what you would call a hybrid player. I mean, he can stop the run, man, and can he rush a passer? He's
Yo.
for being a
And
defensive tackle, he sure can get to the quarterback.
and I believe so can Devontae Wyatt. I think they're both, man. I love these Georgia guys. I don't know what it is, how they're developing out there, who they're getting, but these Georgia defenders can ball. And I think Devontae Wyatt doesn't have, the that, isn't the sexy pick like Jordan Davis, but I'm a big Devontae Wyatt fan. A lot of these guys at Georgia are super talented, but they go under the radar because that defense was so good. That's why Trayvon Walker was getting slept on and Devontae Wyatt and guys like this. Nakobe Dean as well. So I like both these guys. Either way, get a Georgia defensive tackle, Baltimore. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah, and I didn't have Jordan Davis this high. I didn't think he'd go this high just because the history of the defensive linemen. They don't really seem to get picked in the first round as much.
Yeah,
And but his combine, dude, it really, I I think his combine shocked the league. With the owners and everything. He had what you would call like an Indomitian Sue combine.
oh yeah. And that's why he shot up the board. I've got him going 12, and he could go even higher. He's borderline top 10.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I mean, if available, watch out for Trent McDuffie at pick 14 of the Ravens, and also keep an eye on tackle Charles Cross. But if it were up to me, I'll go defensive tackle, and I'm just saying keep an eye on Devontae Wyatt for sure. Um, this is an interesting pick too. This might surprise you. Pick 15 of the Eagles. Who are you going here?
Okay, so you're not gonna like this one.
All right.
Do you do you do you think, or who do you think I'm about to say? I just want to
I have
see.
no idea because I don't know. I think I'll have no. Oh, I think you're going George Karlaftis here.
Absolutely.
All right. W Explain why. I mean, that's a need, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, George Karlaftis is a guy who I think has great upside,
Yeah. And
and
he could fit in Philly. He could.
and you have to start thinking about after guys like Fletcher Cox are gone and Brandon Graham and stuff like that. You're gonna need a decent edge rusher.
Yeah. Um, and it's funny that because that's the only guy that you could say you're not gonna like this one because that's the only guy in this first round that I don't like is George Karlaftis. I'm not sold on him. I wouldn't pick him. Uh, you know, I just think he's more hype than he's one of those guys that I don't think translates to the NFL game, but I could be dead wrong. Um, and Philly definitely could go, has a need there. I've seen a lot of people going Devontae Wyatt here to the Eagles. So that could be an option if he's still available. I would go there if I were you. I wouldn't pick George Karlaftis. I'm gonna do my Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, and shit on a draft prospect, but I'm not a Karlaftis guy. So
That's okay. I mean, again, I've seen him play in person, so
yeah, and I haven't, and I've seen some of his game. I haven't watched a lot of Purdue football. So, but what I did see, I just don't know. And hopefully he proves me wrong and as a star. And if he goes to Philly, he'll have a great opportunity too. I heard some people comparing him to like a Chris Long coming out of college.
wow, that's a weird comparison to me, but
Yeah, I don't know. But so my pick here to the Eagles, pick 15. Mind you, this is my top receiver coming off the board. And you're thinking who? Garrett Wilson?
nope.
Drake London? Nope. Jamison Williams.
Oh, wow,
Pick
man,
fif- Pick 15 to
Alabama
the
connection.
Eagles. Huh?
I said that Alabama connection.
Yep, the Alabama connection. Um, and to me, I think this is what the Eagles are building. They're building a speed offense. They're looking at the Dolphins and the Chiefs, and they're trying to go speed. That seems to be the direction of the game right now. Um, and you add Jamison Williams once fully healthy, and from all indications are he's ahead of schedule on rehab, and he should be back, at a decent time this year. You add him to Devontae Smith and Jalen Rager, and you know, I just think, and then you team him up with Jalen Hurts. I just think it's a hunch. I think the Eagles are in love with Jamison Williams over any other receiver. I mean, I could easily go Drake London here or even Garrett Wilson, but I think they want Jamison Williams.
Yeah,
And he said, quote, on the possibility of teaming up in Philly with Devontae Smith, he said, and Jalen Hurts, he said, quote, we'd be the most explosive offense in the NFL.
I would have to agree, especially if they can get that.
Yeah. So, but I don't think there's a big difference between the top three receivers. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jamison Williams. I think they're all, depending on where they go, they should have a lot of success. Pick 16 to the Saints. I got another receiver going, Garrett Wilson. Um, there's uncertainty about the Michael Thomas situation. Why not go get another Ohio State receiver? And Garrett Wilson, arguably the best receiver in the draft.
Yep, I agree.
And team him up, give Jameis Winston some more help at receiver. Receiver, an obvious need for the Saints. Who do you have the Saints going at 16?
I'm gonna go with Chris Olave.
Yeah, makes sense.
Uh, because besides Michael Thomas, they don't have anybody, and I also don't know what's gonna happen with Michael Thomas.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. It's an obvious need, and if you can get one of the best receivers, you got to go for it. Um, Now let's see here. Let's go to pick 17, the Chargers. Who you have the Chargers going?
Let me look here real quick. That is, I actually have them going wide receiver
All
as
right.
well. Wait. Am I sure? Let me know what. Yep. Okay. Wide receiver here. I like Jamison Williams.
All right. And that's a lot of speed. And you can do that because they have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So, you know, man, Justin Herbert would have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you also got like Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton, but you add in uh Williams, and that would be pretty nuts. I'm going tackle. I think tackle's a need for the Chargers here. I think they're looking at either Charles Cross. They're hoping Charles Cross is available, which he is in my mock. And if not, they're thinking Trevor Penning. And I got them going Charles Cross here. Protect Justin Herbert as much as possible. And one of the, Cross and Penning, not a bad, a lot of talent with either one of these picks.
Yeah. Can I actually change mine for a second? I just now noticed this.
Okay.
Um, I actually wanna. So the Eagles pick next, and you gave me a good idea earlier. So let me put Charles Cross with the Chargers, and then I'm gonna switch my next two picks.
Okay. And then who are the Eagles taking at 18?
There I'm gonna go with Jameson Williams.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be a real good fit. Who did you have for the Eagles at 15?
15 was George Karlaftis.
Okay. And then you're going receiver. I'm going corner Andrew Booth out of Clemson at 18. I like Andrew Booth a lot. He might be corner number 4, but still a solid talent. I liked him a lot at Clemson.
Yeah, he's great.
And then Jameson Williams makes a lot of sense to Philly. Absolutely. So, um, now let's go to pick 19, the Saints. Who do you have the Saints going at 19?
Okay, this one was a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like Trevor Penny here.
Yep, same as me. I think this is where the O linemen go. Chargers at 17, Saints at 19. Cross and Penning. Now Cross could be gone at like pick 9 to the Seattle. And then you're talking, once Penning's off the board, there's quite a bit of gap for the next tackle. Let me pull that up. I mean, then you're talking Bernard Raymond out of Central Michigan. And then I don't really know. I mean, who's Daniel Falele out of Minnesota? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard of Bernard Raymond. I don't know about Daniel Falele. So, um, the Chargers and Saints are hoping that Cross and Penning fall to them. Otherwise, they're gonna have to go in a different direction. But if available, I have those two guys going there, same as you. Um, Pick 20 is an interesting one. I think you're gonna be surprised by this pick. Who do you have the Steelers taking at 20?
I think that the Steelers are gonna go defense, so I like Devin Lloyd.
Okay, I could see that. Um, I think the Steelers are looking to go quarterback. I think Kenny Pickett is an option here. I think if Malik Willis is available at 20, the Steelers will jump at that. I think that'll be great value and someone that they can sit behind Trubisky and learn and develop and be patient and even sit him behind who is it, Rudolph?
Yep, Mason Rudolph.
Rudolph, the red-nosed quarterback. Um, but I think quarterback here. Do you see that potentially happening?
I mean, I absolutely do, but I'm being optimistic for a crazy ending.
Trubisky?
So
Yeah. I mean, I think even if they go quarterback, Trubisky has got a year or two to prove himself, and then maybe get another job somewhere else. I mean, Trubisky is not the long-term answer in Pittsburgh, but it's a opportunity to prove himself and show that he can play.
yeah, but I mean, part of me is like, why can't Trubisky be the long term answer? Because you know you can't hold Matt Nagy against him, man. You're talking about a whole different change with going to Mike Tomlin. Like Mike Tomlin is the real deal.
Absolutely. And plus there's no guarantee that Pickett or Malik Willis or any of these quarterbacks are gonna develop into that guy.
Yep, I agree.
But You're gonna be surprised by this pick. I got them going quarterback. I mean, yeah, you've got weapons there. You got Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Anthony Miller, reunited with Mitch Trubisky, Miles Boykin, Pat Fryermuth at tight end, who we're both really high on. So Najee Harris at running back. So they got some weapons there. Whoever is quarterback, they're not in a bad spot there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree.
And people kind of hate on the Steelers offense, man. That was an old Big Ben. You put a younger, more, better quarterback in there. Big Ben was pretty bad last year. You get somebody else in there, I think that offense takes a big step forward. And so I expect big things out of Trubisky, but pick 20 quarterback, and you notice this will be my third quarterback off the board. Pickett 6 to Carolina, Malik Willis 8 to Atlanta. Pick 20 quarterback Desmond Ritter to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, you went straight out of left field.
Yep, I'm playing outfield today.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
Desmond Ritter. I mean, maybe too high for him. Maybe they could get him in the second round, but if two quarterbacks are off the board and you're sitting there at 20 and you want insurance in case Trubisky goes down, you can go Mason Rudolph, but you want a young quarterback you can develop. You could wait until the second round and get one of these guys. But if you believe in Desmond Ritter's upside, which is there, he's similar in the fact to Malik Willis in that if he can figure out the accuracy part and get more comfortable in the game, he's got, Desmond Ritter more than most. He's got potential, right?
Yeah, but I just don't see them going quarterback. But that's just my opinion.
Well, they're gonna go quarterback, in my opinion, in the draft. Now, I don't know about pick 20. I could see them going quarterback in the second round or the third round. I think they're gonna go a young quarterback. And if Malik Willis is here at 20, I think they will jump at that.
Yeah, if he falls that far, of course that's considered a steal to me.
If you were the Steelers and Kenny Pickett falls to 20, would you take Kenny Pickett?
No.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't touch Kenny Pickett. That's the thing, man. I think the Panthers are going to mess up big time if they take Pickett at pick 6.
I
But
I like Pickett, and I am gonna have him in my first round. But when they talk about NFL ready quarterbacks, I like guys like Sam Howell. I think he's ready for the league.
it is a tough class because I don't like Sam Howell either, and I wouldn't take Pickett in the first round. I would take I think I'm higher on Corral than I am definitely higher on Corral than I am Sam Howell.
Uh,
And I don't know about Pickett. I don't think I would touch Pickett. I think I'd rather have Willis or Ritter or even Corral. Um, but it's interesting. Like this is a tough class, and it's tough to know exactly who. But we'll see what the Steelers do at 20. You got them going what? Devin Lloyd, right?
yep.
I got Devin Lloyd going 21 to the Patriots. I think he's a great fit in New England. Um, in the Belichick defense. Who do you have the Patriots taking?
And this is where I can't let him fall no more. So I have Devontae Wyatt.
Okay, and that's a great fit. I think Wyatt would really excel in New England. Um, the thing on Devin Lloyd, which is interesting, and I think I've said this before, is that he is a solid linebacker, but he's not my linebacker number one in this class. I like Nakobe Dean is my top linebacker. I like Devin Lloyd, but I would rather have Nakobe Dean. I think Nakobe Dean should be a top 20 pick. I think I would have him going 16, 17, 18, even 15. But I think he falls a little bit. For whatever reason, they have him ranked as linebacker too. But I think he's going to outperform Devin Lloyd in the NFL. What do you think on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think another Georgia boy, and I think that those Georgia boys are just gonna be absolute studs.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I like Nakobe Dean a lot. He's got some Roquan Smith in him. He's got, I just like these Georgia linebackers, these Georgia defenders. They're nasty. Whoever's, Kirby Smart doing that recruiting out there, he's getting dogs on that defense. And you're
yeah,
seeing it. They translate well to the NFL.
they only gave up. They were only giving up 10 points a game, and we're talking about college football where big time teams score.
Yeah, this ain't the 90s and 2000s college football. This is the 2020s. And the whole, I mean, that Georgia defense was a thing of beauty this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um, Pick 22, the Packers. Who you got them taking?
I got Traylon Burks.
Okay, we agree. Wide receiver. You're gonna be surprised. I have him falling all the way to pick 22, but it's a great value pick for Green Bay. Drake London.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you got Burks. I got London. Um, we'll see how high all these receivers go. I've got them falling a little bit in the first round, but still, you're gonna see a lot of receivers go in the first round. Um, what's your thoughts on Traylon Burks? I mean, do you think he's gonna be? Are there any worries or concerns about him in the NFL, or do you think he'll translate well?
I think he'll translate pretty well, and I think this is the guy, somebody that Aaron Rodgers will definitely like.
Yeah, and Drake London. I mean, I think he's a should be a star in the league as well. So that would be a good pick. I think regardless, the Packers are going receiver. They'll be thrilled if Garrett Wilson or Jamison Williams or Drake London are available. If not, more realistically, they could go Chris Olave, Jahan Dotson, or Traylon Burks like you have. So, but they desperately need help at receiver. Um, Sammy Watkins isn't cutting it. Randall Cobb isn't cutting it. They need to upgrade that position.
Absolutely.
Pick 23, the Cardinals. Who you got going here?
Okay, so I went out on a limb and I thought about getting guard Zion Johnson from Boston College.
Okay. Protect Kyler Murray. Help
Yeah,
him. Keep him from running for his life. I went receiver since they lost Christian Kirk. I got them going Chris Olave from Ohio State.
I thought receiver also. I thought this was going to be a good spot for Jahan Dotson.
Yeah. Easily Jahan Dotson, Traylon Burks could go here. Olave, all of them will be in consideration. Whoever's available, really. I think they do go receiver, but guard's a smart move for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and then just today, I believe the Cardinals picked up Kyler Murray's fifth-year option. So, pick 24, the Cowboys. Here's my guy, George Karlaftis out of Purdue, going to the Cowboys. Seems like a fit. I'm not sold on Karlaftis, but after losing Randy Gregory, I could see them going edge here, and he's next in line. Do you think he would fit with the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think Karlaftis fits a lot of places in the NFL.
Yeah, you team him up with Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and those guys.
Who we?
Who you got the Cowboys taking?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Jahan Dotson at receiver because of the loss of Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, add to the receivers. I mean, Dak Prescott would love that. I don't mind that. And you can also, you could go defense and get receiver in the second round too. That's probably a need is to address the wide receiver room in Dallas. So, um, pick 25, the Bills. I already know who you're taking here, right?
Um, who do you think I'm about to say?
Are you taking the first running back off the board?
Oh yes, good. Yes, Brees Hall. I like
Yeah.
Brees Hall here.
Yep. Brees Hall, running back to the Bills. A lot of people are trending Brees Hall to the Bills. That's a I've seen that a lot. A lot of people making that pick. I'm going wide receiver Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. Um, I think for whatever reason, the Bills don't feel like running back's as big of a need as everybody else does. And I agree with you. I think they should go running back. But the Bills, I think for whatever reason, they don't buy it. They like Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. They like Josh Allen. They feel like Josh Allen's their running back one, and they can live with that. And they go
Oh,
Jahan Dotson with losing Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley.
yeah. You know, I just don't like the fact that they want, Josh Allen to be their one, you
I
know.
know. I mean, Devin Singletary could be their one, but he's a poor man's one. You'd like to do better, and I think someone like Brace Hall could do that. But I don't know that the Bills know that or feel that way.
Yeah, which again, I did my mock draft by how I feel like they should fit by, all that kind of stuff. Realistically, they probably won't go Brees Hall, but I just like the guy.
Well, a lot of experts are with you in the Bills going running back Brees Hall. And here's something that might be a controversial take. I don't know. Brees Hall is not my running back one.
Really?
Yep, my running back one. I mean, there's a little bias here, but go green. Kenneth Walker.
I can see that. It's just I like Brees Hall for the simple fact of his experience. He's played a lot of games at Iowa State.
Yeah, and he's, I believe, more of a zone runner, which fits the modern NFL. You
Yep.
know, but you're seeing starting more and more of these guys. They're coming back, like Kenneth Walker. You're seeing Najee Harris be successful. Derrick Henry's the best in the game, so then they can do the zone run as well. And so can Kenneth Walker, but he likes to go north and south and run people over. But he's got those moves where he's a one cut too, a one cut back. Um, Brees Hall's got better hands, more versatility. And the one thing Kenneth Walker's got to work on is his pass blocking. And he's got the body to do it. He's the physical back, but he just didn't have to do it a lot at Michigan State.
Yeah, and I mean, the last Iowa State running back that got drafted was pretty damn good also. David
Oh yeah,
Montgomery.
David Montgomery. And I don't know that Brees Hall is David Montgomery, but I like Brees Hall too. David Montgomery, I mean, if you remember, led the NCAA and missed broken tackles, and all that. And I love David Montgomery with Bears Twitter and the NFL. A lot of talk about the Bears moving on from David Montgomery, and I hate that talk. I would keep him long term.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
think I don't think Matt Nagy used him right. I would feed the shit out of David Montgomery, make him the emphasis of the offense. Imagine, I would have brought back Tariq Cohen too. Imagine a backfield with Justin Fields, David Montgomery, Tariq Cohen, the versatility of that. That's scary in my opinion. Then you add in Khalil Herbert, but the Bears don't listen to Alex, so whatever. um, Pick 26, the Titans. Who you got going here? I think we agree on this pick.
Actually, you kind of already have him off the board.
Who's that?
I'm going here, which seems like more of a Mike Brable type of pick. I like N'Kobe Dean.
Yeah, I don't have him off the board.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
No, I was talking about him at 21 with Devin Lloyd, but I do have Devin Lloyd going there. So we agree. N'Kobe Dean here at 26 to the Titans. I just think N'Kobe Dean's going to end up being the best of the two linebackers. And yeah, I agree. I think he fits Mike Vrabel's scheme very well, the style of defense. And I love that fit with Jeffrey Simmons and those boys. Who else? I'm going to pull up the Titans defense, but they got some nasty guys over
Harold Landry.
Yeah, Harold Landry and those guys. Bud Dupree, guys like that. So, um, pick 27, the Bucks. This is a tough pick. I went guard Zion Johnson. I think they go. I think guard is likely. I put Tyler Linderbaum before, but he's fallen a little bit. I like Zion Johnson here. Could easily go Kenyon Green as well. Who do you have the Bucks taking here?
This is where I like Tyler Lindenbaum.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. For whatever reason, he's fallen a little bit to almost like second round now. But early in the draft process, he was had a lot of hype. I don't know what happened. I would still definitely consider him here. I don't see anything wrong with that, and I don't know how much longer Ryan Jensen has. So, these guys can play guard slash center. So, bottom line in Tampa is protect the goat.
Yep, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
like this pick a lot here. For whatever reason, I enjoy making picks for the Packers. I don't, and I picked the Vikings with Jordan Davis. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I gave the Packers Drake London. I need to stop with this. Giving them good ideas. They don't listen to me anyways. Um, but pick 28, I like this pick. You lose the Darius Smith. They might go Karlaftis if available. I get the feeling Karlaftis will already be off the board. I'm going Boye Mafe out of Minnesota.
You know, I I like that one too, but I also I got David Ajabo.
Yeah, David Ojabo. I just think Boye Mafe at this point is ahead of David Ojabo because of that injury. Now, if David Ojabo is all right off of that injury, then okay. And you team him up. I believe Rashawn Gary's still there, right?
Yep,
You got two of the Michigan guys. I would go Boye Mafe though. That injury scares me with Ojabo.
it does. It is a very scary injury, which is unfortunate, man. Made that
Yeah,
pro day and then tearing your Achilles, that had to suck.
yeah, and it looked nasty. That's very unfortunate for him. He'll still go in the second round, I'm sure. And so hopefully, he hits rehab well and comes out and is still a damn good linebacker and has a long career. Pick 29 of the Chiefs. I have him fallen this far. I got Traylon Burks. That's a pretty good value pick for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it is.
Who do you have here?
I like Christian Watson.
Yeah, I could easily see Christian Watson. Uh, do you think he's worthy of pick 29 and going in the first round? A lot of people have him falling out of the first round.
I mean, you know, I think that's more because of where he's from, North Dakota
Yeah,
State.
yeah.
If I would,
Um,
if you know, I like to evaluate talent. So,
if it were up to you, he's a first round talent.
yep,
Yeah. What about George Pickens?
I like George Pickens, but he actually a lot of his time at Georgia was injury for. He was injury prone.
Yeah. I just think if he's healthy, there's some character concerns I've seen come up recently. I like George Pickens, and there's a part of me who kind of wants him to go to Chicago.
They don't have a first round pick, but you never
No,
know.
yeah, they'd have to get him in the second or back in there. But um, I think Christian Watson is likely to the Chiefs here. I think Traylon Burks will be gone. But in my mock, Traylon Burks is available, so they go with him. I don't want to see Christian Watson in Kansas City, but I think they go receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then pick 30 of the Chiefs. They go back to back. I go corner Kyer Elam out of Florida. What about you?
Here uh man, I did have Elam, but I want Boye Mafe off my board, so I'm gonna go with him here.
Okay, I like that. He could be a good fit there for sure. 31, the Bengals guard Kenyon Green. What about you?
Let me get this is where I want Elam right here.
Okay, Tyler Elam, I could see that. And then pick 32. You'll be surprised with mine. Real quick, who you got 32 to the Lions?
Oh, okay. I've been waiting all night for this one.
This is your what? Desmond Ritter, Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett to the
All
Detroit.
right, man. See, like I just wouldn't touch Kenny Pickett, and at 32 is much better than 6. If Carolina goes Kenny Pickett at 6, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna make fun of him, and I'm gonna say, man, you should have had Brian Flores or Eric Bieniemy at head coach and Deshaun Watson, and instead you got Matt Rule for another year, and you've got Sam Darnold and Kenny Pickett, and I'm just gonna laugh at the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if the Lions go Kenny Pickett at 32, I'm gonna laugh at the Lions because they're the Lions. And I'm not sold on Kenny Pickett at all. I wouldn't touch Kenny Pickett, but I understand it, and it's much better value at 32 than pick 6. And what do you think about this though? If I'm the Lions at 32, like I said, I don't trust Kenny Pickett. Why not Desmond Ritter here?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of questions about him.
Yeah. There's a
And
lot of questions about Pickett too, though, right? I mean, they say he's pro ready, but those small hands.
yeah, I mean, small hands really, in my opinion, don't mean anything.
Oh, I disagree. I think he had a lot of fumbles in college.
He did. That he did.
And you play in the NFC North where you got to go on the road to Soldier Field. You got to go into Lambeau late in the year with some snow, some bad weather.
Yeah, I'm just going with what, a lot of the experts say
I mean,
that
Pickett is a late first round type talent. I agree with that. Early second round. Um, that seems like a Lions pick. I don't expect it to work out if they do go that way. Um, I got safety. You're gonna like the safety Daxton Hill out of Michigan.
I like that one too. Yeah. You're right. That is a pretty good pick
Pick
right there.
32, good value. And in
Absolutely.
my so I got the Lions going Michigan, both picks in the first round. Aiden
Man,
Hutchins and
honestly, man, that would kind of piss me off a little bit if Aiden Hutchinson was not picked first.
yeah, I don't think he's going first. I don't. And
It's crazy, man. The dude had 14 sacks.
they're going upside. They're going Trayvon Walker, and it might not work out, but you know how the draft works. I mean, we were convinced Mac Jones was going 3 last year until he wasn't. Like the night before, you know what I mean?
Yep, yep.
When we talked to Hugh Jackson on the show, and I said to Hugh, I was like, if you're gonna trade up to 3, being the Niners, you better be trading up and know who you're getting already, right? You're not gonna trade up to 3 and then start your quarterback evaluation, So, and he agreed with me. He's like, you better. So it made so much sense that their eyes were on Mac Jones the entire time. And then boom, it sounds like last minute they went Trey Lance. I mean, it's crazy,
Yeah, it is, but that worked out well for Mac Jones because I think that put him in a good situation with Coach Bill Belichick.
And maybe it backfires for the 49ers. Some people are guessing or saying a rumor that the reason Debo Samuel wants out is because he doesn't believe in Trey Lance, which I don't know about that. Um, I think he more so wants to just play wide receiver, and the Niners want him to be that, wide receiver slash running back weapon.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and the thing is, people are gonna jump on Trey Lance and they're gonna jump on Malik Willis the same way, and they're gonna say, and Jordan Love too. and they're gonna say they suck. Look at their film, look at their limited participation in these games and how they struggle, and they're gonna say it's a bust of a pick. The thing is, though, these were always projects. These were always long-term development guys. And you can't judge them on 1 year. You need to judge them on year 2, year 3, maybe even year 4 with some of these guys, like Trey Lance or Malik Willis, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And, I think Jordan Love really hasn't had a chance to show anything yet either, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some opportunity, but he's had about as much as opportunity as Trey Lance. Neither has looked that good, but Jordan Love, I'm more so on the side of I don't know. That might be a bust. I mean, especially with the fact that they bring back Aaron Rodgers. It's like they're not ready to move on to Jordan Love. They're not ready for that era to begin.
It's
But
crazy because, man, you should have definitely went receiver in that draft, but whatever.
yeah, they could have gone like T. Higgins there.
Yeah, I don't know. The Packers, man.
Yeah. And but
But
we'll see on Trey Lance too, because why haven't the Niners moved on from Garoppolo yet? Maybe they're. But again, he was always probably a 2-year development guy. But I hope the Niners let him go, let him show out some this year. I want to see more of Trey Lance because I think that how else do you learn instead of just throwing you out to the fire and learning on the fly? You know what I mean?
yeah, that's how I get better with things.
Yeah. So, but the quarterback position is one of the most complicated in the jobs in the world. There's only 32 starters. And even then, there's a lot of ones that you look at. People constantly say Kirk Cousins it sucks, but he puts up the stats. They say Derek Carr sucks, but look at how much these guys are getting paid. You know,
Yeah, and I mean, you know, history has proven you don't always have to go get a quarterback in the first round,
yeah. Kirk
and like
Cousins was like a 4th round pick. Russell Wilson was like 3rd round.
yeah, and those guys. I mean, Kirk's good; he's not great, but Russell's great.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
let's
that's
see.
the thing. I said this and I'm going to say it all off season. I think Derek Carr is in for a career year in 2022.
You're not the only one who believes that. Actually, I was listening to Colin Coward today, and he was saying that he believes that Derek Carr is going to be in the running for the MVP.
I agree. I think they're reuniting him with Devontae Adams is going to do wonders for his numbers and his game. And the thing is, there's some rumor about the Packers trying to trade for Darren Waller, and the Raiders need to keep him. You lose Darren Waller, that's a big loss. You keep Darren Waller and Devontae Adams together, and you've got something special.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, my thing is, back to the quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, for
Yep,
example,
yep,
Tom Brady. I mean, you know,
yep.
these quarterbacks should not feel ashamed for, not falling out of the first round because, eventually we're gonna be able to see your talent and know, hey, you know, I'm better than what I was picked at.
Dak was interesting because I didn't know that his skill set would translate to the NFL either. Coming out of what, Mississippi State?
Yep.
And what round did he go? Was he 2nd round?
I thought he was fourth.
4th round? Jesus. I don't remember that. I gotta look that up. But that's wild. And to see how much money he's getting paid now.
Yep.
Yeah, 4th round. Wow. But well, sounds good. I mean, this was a lot of fun. This will be our final mock draft. So you feel confident about your picks?
Oh yeah.
Me too. And I can't wait to see like the wild card ones, the ones that are crazy. Um, so we'll definitely be talking and watching the drafts together. So I can't wait. I hope it's a great draft. It's a lot of fun. And thanks, Dustin. It was great, leading up to this draft. And tomorrow night is gonna be crazy and see who your Colts pick, this weekend, who my Bears pick, and see how these teams get better.
Yeah, Colts need to go after a receiver,
Yeah,
most definitely. Uh, I like guys like if we could get a steal and get one of these big time names in the second round, go for it.
yeah, absolutely. Can the Bears draft a new GM?
I don't think that's possible.
Damn it. All right. Well,
But hear me out though, man. I thought about this scenario. You don't think that the Seahawks would be willing to give up that ninth pick if they knew they can guarantee get Baker Mayfield and just trade with Cleveland's second round pick?
that would be interesting. We'll see if one of these trades goes down tomorrow. I mean, people say no, it's not going to happen, but you never know. There's always people say there's not going to happen and then it happens, and so that's the thing to keep an eye on in the draft is potential trades. And you never know. Maybe Debo Samuel gets moved tomorrow night. Maybe Baker Mayfield gets moved tomorrow night. It's going to be crazy. You never know when one of these big trades will happen, and the draft is a perfect place for it to go down.
Yep, I agree.
And to see who, if someone tries to move up into the top 10 or into the first round for somebody, maybe a quarterback, maybe a receiver.
Yep.
So, all right, man. Well, good shit, Dustin. Thanks for coming on. And
Yeah.
good luck on your mock draft. Mine too. Hopefully we hit some home runs here and show our skills in the predictions. So we'll get this episode uploaded tonight, and so people can check it out tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Check out our recent interviews with Dime Dropper, Ricky G, Xavier McDaniel. If you're not subscribed, make sure and subscribe. We're trying to get those numbers up and grow, and appreciate everyone that's supporting us. We're got some good positive momentum right now. We got some more interviews on deck, so appreciate all of you guys. Thanks, Dustin. Good shit, bro.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
And peace out, guys.